and welcome Echoes to Once Upon a Reflection, a Cypher system-based fairy tale TTRPG. I believe that this is episode 18. But I am
Ow.
Evie. Yeah, 18. We've almost been gaming this particular campaign for a year. Like, it'll
That's
be a
crazy.
year at the end of next month.
Amazing.
Yeah, we've skipped a couple of times, but nevertheless, almost a year. Um, anyway, I'm Evie, the Disaster Jam. My pronouns are she, they, or any, and I am the game runner for this fine of disastrous group. Let's go ahead and go through with our intros. Since you weren't here last time, let's start with Joel.
Hi, I'm Joel. I use any pronouns, and I'm going to be playing Senor Fluffington, who is a rugged witchwawa who is one with beasts.
Oh, yes, very rugged. Um, Amanda.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda. I'm playing Rosa and Thorn, both using she, her pronouns. I am a resilient explorer princess who masters the swarm.
Beautiful, beautiful. And last but not least, our wonderful artist, Alina.
Hey everybody, I am Alina, I am they them, and I will be playing Sev and Vrak, who are also they them, and they are a charming trickster who wears a crown of ice.
Very wonderful. But yes, as I said, Alina is our character artist, so you should definitely
Wonderful
check them
character
out.
artist.
Uh,
I
I,
just did the very quick version.
I only did the human world versions of the characters, and we rarely see them, so credit still goes to you. Um, but yeah, so check them out. Go look at their stuff. It's fun. Anyway, this game runs every other week on Fridays, normally at 8:30 Eastern and 5:30 Pacific, but we decided to start a little late today to accommodate some schedule stuff that was going on. There's the possibility that we will be permanently moving to this timeline, so kind of see how this works, how well it does. But if you happen to like us, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow wherever it is that you happen to be watching on. We do actually multi stream, so you would potentially be watching us on YouTube, Twitch, or Moonbeam Stream. If you're watching on Moonbeam Stream, we are in both the Tabletop Guild, which is the public realm, as well as the Archives, which is a private realm. So go ahead and join either of those if you want to see this or other fun TTRPGs. You may also notice from our overlay, like down there in the corner of the screen, there is a little QR code. That is for the Trans Women of Color Collective. The Trans Women of Color Collective has a mission to uplift the narratives, leadership, and lived experiences of trans and gender nonconforming people of color while building towards the collective liberation of all oppressed people. I know that the world is complete shit right now. We all know that the world is complete shit right now. And we ask that if you have the ability to help support your trans brothers and sisters out in the world, that you do so either with this method or others. There are so many things that put all of us at risk. But check them out. There is a link either in chat or in the description, depending on where you're watching. Thank you very much. It was not clickbait. Thank you very much, Amanda, for trying to get it into uh, the Moonbeam stream. I'm gonna add you to like our mods or something so that it stops trying to
Is it
warn you.
yelling at you?
Yeah, it's
it
like
keeps
yelling me. It's
at
like, you're
her.
spamming. It's clickbait. And I'm like, it's
Yeah.
not clickbait.
Here,
Literally
let me.
supporting the stream, y'all.
We are literally just supporting the stream. Like all of our streams support the support this particular organization during this quarter. So, like, Moonbeam, stop. Um, anyway,
I don't know why, but in my head, Moonbeam is like a particularly adorable cat, but kind of derpy. like a little moon on its forehead, and
A
it's
little
just
bit.
I like
A
yelling at
little
it.
bit.
Being
Yeah,
like, Moonbeam, what are you doing?
yeah, I can see that, especially since it is still technically in its beta phase and they are still working through some
Yeah.
little glitches here and there on occasion. But join us over there if you want to chat or watch without, the Twitch stuff. Um, but with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and roll into focusing on today's session. We at the Archives would like to remind you that this is an adult content rated game with depictions of violence, mentions of loss and trauma, and or similar content. We do our best not to cross each other's lines, but for those watching, you have been warned. Last time, after they had unwittingly encountered a hag in the middle of a random fairy tale town, meeting another person that had transitioned from the real world to fairy tale world and back a couple of times, but was not one of the chosen. They had either scared away, defeated, or just been, I don't want to deal with you by said hag. And both Thorn and Senior Fluffington were kind of shown to a nearby inn that their temporary companion had connections at to be able to get them somewhere to rest and somewhere to relax and to try to recover from the whole getting attacked by a hag and the various things that she brought to life. While Senor Fluffington was taking a nap, recovering, Thorn went back to the real world to try and get in touch with Vrak or Sev while in the real world, to update them on everything that had happened and potentially get them to come back with her. There were some distractions and a party and some other things that occurred while there, but after over 24 hours, they did finally make their way back to Fairy Tale World to discover that Senor Fluffington had indeed woken up in this length of time and gone searching for Thorn, assuming that she had gone off into the woods to find the forest gnomes that the apothecary had been related to that had taught him about plants to find out potentially some of the information on herbs that the hag might have been purchasing, and if they knew someone named Juan that Senor Fluffington has a fascination with the name of. They did manage to find Senor Fluffington sometime near midnight at one of the landmarks that was depicted in this traveling. Yeah, it's no longer a will they or won't they, because they did. But Senor Fluffington had stopped at one of these landmarks, not quite remembering if they were supposed to go right or left or what right and left is. But
Well, don't make
Thorn,
it ill.
yeah, uh, Thorn and Vrak did happen to find them there and do know that they are supposed to go right. But it is late at night. You guys are well rested with how late you slept in. Um, what would you like to do?
Fluffy, how's it?
Hello.
All good?
I don't know what directions.
That way.
Directions are pretty hard, to be fair. I struggle with them sometimes too.
Yeah, I don't know what right is.
Where are we going? Where are we going?
Oh, I don't remember.
Cool.
Some
Let's go.
It was something important about.
We were going to see the forest gnomes about some herbs, potentially. Does that
Yeah.
sound familiar?
No.
Okay.
We're going to go something plants.
Cool. I mean, we're here. We might as well. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
we did this again. Gnomes aren't so bad. They're not like as bad as dwarves.
He's going to start walking in the wrong direction.
No, Fluffy. Mm-mm.
Ah.
Mm-mm. This way.
Oh, okay. And then corrects.
So go ahead and give me just a general navigation check. It is nighttime in the woods.
Me?
Whoever is leading the way.
That's probably
Um,
Uh,
Thorn.
that'll be that'll be either Thorn or me, I guess.
yeah,
Thorn, please lead the idiots.
because yeah,
Um, I
yeah,
rolled a
it's
10.
okay. And Sinner Fluffington, are all you also attempting to help, or are you
Yep.
mostly being guided away from wandering?
I rolled a 9.
Okay. So with a 9 and a 10, it's dark. Neither of you are really night visiony type creatures. So it's dark, and the woods aren't like eerily quiet, but it is still fairly silent. There's some strange noises that happen every once in a while, and you walk for about 5 or 10 minutes, and you have no idea if you've actually managed to continue on the path that was on the very, very poorly drawn map, or if you are lost. Because you can no longer see the large tree that looks kind of like a person with its arms like up, that the little gnome
The kind of squidgy
bongo,
stick figure that's on the map.
yeah, that the
Yeah.
gnome bongo had told you about.
The cousin's name was Bongo.
Yes.
We're gonna go find Bingo, right?
Yeah, bingo bongo.
Yeah, Bingo was his dad.
Cool.
I thought you were gonna say Bingo as his name. Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, Bingo was his father's Nemo.
Nemo.
got
Yeah.
it.
Um, but yeah, and I would also like a luck roll from Senor Fluffington, and Vrak.
Cool. I don't know what this is for. I'm scared.
Oh, I realized I probably should have said this earlier. I'm gonna turn on my light.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, smart.
Sounds like a good plan.
I rolled a
Yeah.
14. I don't know if that's good or bad.
You
I
rolled a
rolled an
what?
11.
14.
14 and an 11. Okay. Um, and I think I did not actually get a roll from Amanda between sessions for this thing. So
Oh.
could I actually also have you roll a uh, just a second. Let me figure out which die it was. A d20.
I rolled a 17 on that.
That
17.
seems good.
Let's see what that was. Oh no, it's a d6. Sorry.
Oh,
That's a 5 on the d6.
A 5.
you're rolling
Okay.
good.
Let me get the exact thing that would result with.
What does it mean?
Good. I'm excited.
It's been a while since I had these chats with the players, so they don't quite remember having to make these rolls. But yeah, so with that, can you also please make a luck roll?
This might be the vibe. Maybe we're vibe checking.
Oh, that is a 19.
Ooh.
19. All right, so yeah, yours, for the most part, you don't seem to notice anything strange or odd happening. It's just kind of, it's dark. You're not quite sure where in the woods you are, if you're still heading in the correct direction. I mean, like, you headed away from the tree in the correct direction. You're just not sure how far you need to go. It was hard to read the map before Fluffy turned on the light, essentially. Senor Fluffington, yours was a 9, so it was like one less. So it's kind of hard to say. With the luck rolls, Vrak, Because Fluffy, you had the highest luck roll other than Thorn, right?
I had an 11, yeah.
Okay.
And I had a 14.
Okay. Yeah, so with that, uh it's it is odd because Brack, you hear humming. You hear humming. In Senior
Like someone's
Fluffington,
coming
you
under
don't
their breath.
actually hear humming, you hear some sort of grumble. Oddly, Thorn doesn't hear anything odd.
I'm gonna immediately stop and just get into kind of like at an attention stance and try
Hmm.
to fucking deduce what direction the sound is coming from.
As soon as Fluffy stops, Vrack also stops, and we'll go like, "What's up, buddy? Smell something or
Uh, I hear grumbling. Uh,
rumbling?"
yes.
I don't know. I hear something like maybe it's just tinnitus, but like something's humming or
Mm,
you don't hear that?
Do you guys want to do an awareness roll to see if you can track down where the sound might be coming from?
I
yeah,
don't hear anything. Like,
Yeah,
that's
you
what I
don't
was
hear
doing.
anything, Thorn, other than like the occasional
no,
night sounds of the woods.
I was gonna look it up or try
I
to
rolled
figure out where this is from. So
a 6, so I don't notice
I
anything.
I rolled an 8.
It's neither
Who
of you
knows?
have any idea where it's coming
Mm-mm.
from. What was your
oh,
roll?
is this a new day? Kind of like, do I heal and stuff?
Yeah, you would have healed
Mhm.
because you
Okay.
had a full 24 hours to rest. So
Cool. Okay. Sorry, I rolled an 8.
yeah, so yeah, it is hard to say. Like Thorn, you really just don't hear anything other than them and the sounds of a forest at night, which you are fairly familiar with. Um, it's almost like it's coming from everywhere but nowhere to the other two of you because it is hard to pin down a direction. You can hear it clearly, but
Okay.
where it's coming from?
I think Vrack is assuming it's just tinnitus. They're like, I don't know, I got this weird humming in my ear. Ah, yeah,
Yeah, it's
happens sometimes.
it's weird.
Yeah.
Mm. Do I smell anything interesting? So that's the same roll.
Yeah, with that same roll, it smells like trees and dirt.
Mm. No, I don't know. I don't know what. It's weird. I can hear something, but I don't know what it is.
Are you sure it's not your stomach growling?
I mean,
Yeah.
we are in like a fairy woods at night, so like there's probably some shit out there, but
No,
we
it's
can either
not.
be sneaky or we can be so scary that it won't come after us, I guess.
I don't think it's my stomach. Mm, I'm not hungry.
Sorry, we didn't bring anything, buddy. I don't know if you ate, but like there wasn't really anything to for dogs to eat at my house anyway.
Mm-mm. You wouldn't want to. Well, I wouldn't say you maybe wouldn't want to eat it. You probably would have, though.
Yeah, probably.
What one? What
But
one?
like
What?
coffee's not really good for dogs, and like garlic's not good for dogs, I think.
No, garlic is absolutely not good for dogs.
And that was like the two things at the house.
I've eaten both of those things before.
Yeah, I figured.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you and me, man, eating a lot of things that ain't good for us.
You do?
Oh yeah, I do a lot of things that aren't good for me.
Fair. Well, we can keep going, I guess. I am gonna keep my everything available. Sorry, open for whatever this sound is. If this sound grows stronger,
Hmm.
I am going to go the aggressive mode.
Oh no.
Okay.
Another hag.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's the sound doesn't really go away. Like you
Mhm.
hear faint grumbling and it's almost like someone is saying something but it's super faint and you can't make out what it is. Um
Mhm.
the humming just doesn't necessarily turn into anything else. It changes pitch sometimes, but not to a noticeable tune.
Hmm. Okay, I don't like that, but okay.
You still
I'm gonna
hearing that
start.
growling?
What was that?
You still hearing that growling?
It's like someone is talking, but I can't understand what they're saying.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Thorn, still nothing?
Nope. Nope, just the sound of the woods. Usually
Uh,
maybe a cricket, but that's about it.
Okay.
uh, I'm gonna start doing that pacing thing just around them. Well, whenever we stop and while we're walking, I'm gonna walk between them so that I have
Okay.
equal distance between uh both of them. So if there's any threat, I'm close enough to be able to react.
Okay.
Because I'm a guard dog.
You are. You're a big guard dog. Big old
Yeah.
scary chihuahua. Um so yeah, go ahead and give me one more navigation check. Since again you haven't been to where it is that you are trying to seek out. It is the middle of the night, and while you have localized light, the map was kind of shit.
I rolled a 10.
Okay. And Thorn?
You know what? I'm going to use a player intrusion. I'm going to spend
Ooh.
XP for
Oh.
serendipitous landmark.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Nice.
I
Okay.
don't even know what those words mean.
That's
Would you
great.
like
Uh,
to describe to your fellow players what serendipitous landmark is?
just when it seems like the path is lost, or you are, a trail marker, a landmark, or simply the way the terrain or corridor bends, rises, or falls away, suggests to you the best path forward, at least from this point.
Nice.
Okay.
Ooh.
Um, so
Ooh.
you kind of look around and you are pretty sure at this point that you're lost. And you're just gonna stop and focus for a second. And you are in a magical land. You are in a place that things happen and strange circumstances bend to the situation in ways that would never be seen in the real world. So, as if something is watching over you, you see one particular direction that you were not quite off of, but starting to head a little further away from, sort of like just barely askew from, uh, almost open up, like the plants not breaking but curling and bending slightly away to quite literally show an easier walking path that is clear and unhindered. And the light travels much farther down it simply because there aren't interruptions to break the line that it would go on.
I pointed out to the group and I say, I don't know, that seems like it's a pretty decent path.
You guys saw like Thorn just kind of look around and try to focus a little bit, and then suddenly the woods seemed to open up a walking path. It was a very visible thing.
Frack will glare suspiciously at the path and then look to Thorn and be like, oh yeah, you got them fairy godmothers watching out for you and shit, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm going
Okay.
to just chalk this one up to them.
Because that looked like some fairy godmother bullshit.
So you
Well,
guys
it's
decide to walk that way, or are you going to be suspicious of it?
Frack's suspicious, but I don't know that they're going to stop anybody.
I'm fucking going. No,
All right.
I imagine the being able to see with the light would probably be.
So it is kind of a single file type of path. It winds between some trees and bushes. So what would the order be as you guys are walking along, or do you try to force
much
the
attack.
greenery to like stretch? So
Fluffy,
Brack,
are
are
you
you back?
I think I think I'll take the lead since I've got the light.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably keep the light ahead of us as far as
You-
I can keep it.
Okay.
you dart up the path, Thorn will follow, and then Frack will be like, I mean, it's either fairy godmother bullshit or like something down there wants to eat us, but like, what the fuck do I know? Anyway,
You're just along for the ride at this point.
I'm also here.
It's okay. It's not the first time something has tried to eat me.
Yeah, that's the fucking problem about this place.
All right. Well, it was a bird in the city, but yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess that's a problem, right?
Yeah, it happens more often than I think people realize. We try to, at my old job, we did try to start like a PSA about it, but I don't think it really caught on.
A what?
Hawks and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just imagining Senor Fluffington in one of those like giant spiky vests to keep the birds from grabbing him.
Mm-hmm. A
Yeah.
coyote safety vest.
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, so with that, you walk along. The humming doesn't change tune anymore, Vrac. Sort of like
Constant low humming.
yeah, it's sort of very deep Gregorian chant type of humming. Doesn't really turn into something irritating. It's almost background, like the buzz of an air conditioner or something at this point, but it doesn't keep changing pitch. It almost seems satisfied.
Interesting.
I love the concern on Joel's face of the what, why, what.
Yeah.
I hate this. Me as a player, I hate this place.
Yeah. The grumbling that Senor Fluffington had heard, however, almost make another awareness check for me.
Oh. I'm not very aware, Evie. Come on.
You're not, which is why I
16,
have to
never
have you
mind.
roll. You could kind of make out some of the words. It's very similar to when Pedro's mom is really irritated with something at work and is just like consistently bitching under her breath in really long-winded sentences about whatever is irritating her.
Right.
It's very, very colorful language. Something about uh, glorified flashlights.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
I don't think I know what the flashlight is.
yeah.
That's him. He says that out loud. She's like, what is that? Hmm.
A
What is
flashlight?
what?
Yeah, like at the what's it like a glorified type of flashlight.
I mean, like a flashlight's kind of like a thing that lights up like your staff.
Oh, is my staff flashlight?
It could
I mean,
be.
maybe. Is somebody
Okay.
watching us?
Uh,
Look around at the woods.
well, I can hear a voice. He's complaining about flashlights. I think he might like the dark. Do you think he's angry at my staff?
Well, Evie, do I know anything about gnomes? Have I encountered them before?
Give me a roll. See if you have.
I'm bad at remembering things.
Yeah. So you're hindered.
Love this.
I'm so good at this. That's a 5. I've never met a gnome before in my life.
You might have. You don't remember.
Don't remember.
You know they're one of those little creature things that are in the fairy tale world, but you could never really tell them apart. It's not a goblin, and that's all that really mattered.
Yeah, so cool, whatever.
Hmm.
Am I still oblivious to what's happening?
You can't hear anything other than the normal night sounds of the forest and your friends talking. Like you can make a awareness check to see if you hear or notice anything else, but like off the top of your head, yeah, it's just
I will take an awareness check.
okay.
13?
13. Um, it's a forest at night. It's like you can occasionally hear the warble of some songbirds that are nocturnal, the skittering of animals out searching for food. You hear a branch or a twig or branch snap, and you realize that somebody behind you, Thorn, or not Thorn, Vrak, stepped on something with their big clunky boots. No voices, no humming, no one talking about flashlights.
Frack occasionally will like still dig in their ear, like they're having like a hug at the edge of it.
I just go, maybe the fresh air isn't so good for certain people.
Does that have to do with flashlights?
No,
Hmm.
not necessarily.
I see.
Well, let's go see this bingo guy, I guess.
Who?
The guy that you want to see?
His name is Bingo?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are we going? I down.
Following you.
Is there like a visible path?
Yeah,
Right
there
now?
is a very visible path.
Oh, well then, never mind. I'm just steps
Yeah,
off
you
and
you
away.
are like the need for navigation rolls is completely negated. You have a very visible path leading you in the direction that you needed to go.
Oh well, I'm going.
Okay. Yeah, so as you guys continue traveling, there's a couple more very blatant complaints about like glorified flashlights might as well just be a fucking lantern, blah blah blah. Blah. The dignity, the lack of dignity of being used like this, etc., etc., etc. And eventually, about an hour or two,
Oh,
yeah, the player suddenly realizes
There
what the
it
fuck
is.
is happening.
Going on.
There you go.
okay, I
Yeah,
know what's
there you
going on.
go. You get to what seems like, I wouldn't really call it a grove. You get to kind of more hilly areas in the forest that spread and open a little bit more. And there are now signs of like cultivated cultivated greenery. Um, it is still nighttime, however, so you don't see anyone wandering or doing things, but you get to a distinct area that seems like it is in some way looked after. Um,
Interesting.
and the path has kind of stopped being so blatantly open and available to you. So, as far as you can tell, you've reached the area you needed to get to, but with it being the middle of the night and not a real visual indicator of what their homes might look like, who knows what to do next? In fact, what do you guys choose to do?
I'm gonna howl really loudly.
Good.
So, you guys,
That's a worse idea than what I was gonna do, and I'm here for it.
what were you going to do?
Yeah, well,
I was gonna knock on a tree and yell bingo.
Okay.
Howling is way better.
Okay. So, and Senor Fluffington was leading the way. So, like, you get to this kind of cleared open area that seems to be much more tended to. The path is no longer obvious and, like, magically opened before you. And Senor Fluffington just takes a look one way, takes a look another way, doesn't see anyone nearby, and then just steps forward and, like, back arched, head reaching towards the sky, like big ass wolf howl. No warning.
Good.
This is how we call people in my home.
Singing the song of your people.
Before we get to the results of that, are either of you reacting in any fashion to the fact that Senor Fluffington suddenly goes?
I like the way that it cuts out immediately.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
Vrac was
reducing
pausing
noise.
because their hand was up to go and bang on the tree, and then they just stopped and they were looking over at Fluffington.
You know what? I'm just gonna let Fluffy do Fluffy things.
Yeah,
Just be fluffy.
big
Yeah.
woo. Big
Just a big woo.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just like, if I try to howl into my mic is just gonna cut me off immediately, and it did. So yeah, effectively, there was a howl. I did a howl for you guys.
Yay.
But yeah, so you like classic horror movie werewolf, like back arched, claws spread, just bracing yourself for this howl. Big howl, big woo. And there's the sudden sense of movement all around you. Lights don't necessarily flicker, but you get the sense that you have startled a lot of wildlife. And give me an awareness to see if you hear or see anything else happening in response to Big Wolf.
14.
14?
Yeah.
15.
15. All right.
I got a 9, so I don't think I noticed anything.
Vrac, because you're slightly hindered by the night and don't have any extra senses, it's just you see or hear a lot of movement of what seems like birds, like suddenly waking up and darting away, and other small critters just making a run for it at this sudden interruption. Senor Fluffington, because you do have keen scent and hearing, you get the or sound of something a bunch of things like thunking against wood, hollow wood, and there's like faint cursing. And because of that, you do have forewarning as this spray of like thorny needles goes launching at all three of you as the defenses of this settlement have been activated by being scared the fuck awake by what would look to them like the big bad wolf in the middle of the night. Um, so you're huffing, you're puffing, you're making your big yowl. Everybody, please make a defense roll, either might or speed. And Senator Fluffington, you are not hindered.
I'm going to put an effort on this.
Okay.
I am trained in speed.
Ooh, 17.
I'm
Doing
not
good.
hindered. What
Mm-hmm.
was I hindered before?
The other two are hindered currently because it is night and it is a surprise attack. You recognized something happening and then something thudding against hollow wood, so you got forewarning. So where yours was going to be a 5, theirs turned into a 16. We have training from Thorn bringing it down to a 5.
I didn't make it.
Oh, no.
So yeah,
I just
so like
rolled
it
six,
went
so-
from a 5 to a 6 to a 5 again. Senator
Yeah.
Fluffington, you were at a 5. Do you have any training on defense?
I have speed defense task.
Are you
training.
trying to dodge?
Yes. For
So you're
sure.
down to a 4. Vrac was 5 to a 6. Effort brought it down to 5 again. Are
Yep.
you trained at all?
I'm not, but I rolled a 17.
Okay, so you like just
I just
duck,
luck out.
yeah, you duck behind, you hear something that just instinctively you're just like, oh
That
shit,
old training kicks
and
in.
That sounds
dodge
bad.
behind the tree that you were about to knock
Mhm.
on, and then these like long, like 5-inch
Ew.
long spikes
Thunk,
or
thunk.
thorns like embed themselves into the wood. And then I believe Thorny said that you failed your roll. What was your roll?
Yeah,
Senator
12.
Fluffington?
I also failed my roll with a grand total of 2.
Okay, that wasn't great. So yeah, like the two of you, as like this just spray of long, thin, needle-like thorns goes like embedding into your skin, and you take the equivalent of 2 points of damage.
Okay, so I take 1 point of damage.
Yep. And
Really?
like
Oh.
a lot of them just kind of land in the ground. It was more of an area effect deterrent than really damaging. But there is what seems to be the occasional flicker or glow of someone starting to light lanterns, hidden behind possibly like bark that had been like camouflaging doorways, because Vrac was correct. They do live in the trees and in the ground. And so there's signs that people have awoken and are either attempting to run or about to attempt to defend themselves more.
Oh, hey, guys! I found them.
You
Ow.
certainly did.
I say this with like several spikes poking out of my body.
Yeah.
I found them.
Yeah. It's sort of like if you've ever seen a dog that stumbled into a cactus patch.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like sticking out. The dog doesn't seem to notice it unless someone touches the spike.
And I think. Okay, let me see how smart Vrac is. Okay, no, they've got their shit together. Okay, all right. Vrac, still from behind the tree, is going to be like, kind of cup their hands and call around, but with a minimum amount of their face sticking out from behind the tree because there's like thorns flying around. It's not cool. And they're like, whoa, hey, sorry to bother you in the middle of the night. We probably scared the hell out of you. But like, we got a werewolf, so he's cool though. He's really cool.
I'm cool.
We're not here to help. We're not here to hurt you. We just need your help. So, like, chill, everybody.
Give me a social interaction check to
Yep,
persuade. Um,
I'm good at this.
it is hindered by 2.
Okay, I'm gonna spend an effort on it.
Yeah.
And I am going to use some fast talking
Okay.
to be good at this.
All right. So it was a 9 brought up to 15, so a 3 brought up to a 5. And then you said effort on it,
Yep, yep, yep.
which brought it down to a 4. And then you have train,
Yes.
which brings it
In
down
either
to a 3.
social interactions or influencing others' minds.
Okay, yeah, so that brought it down to a 3. And you're using fast talk. Is that an ability or is that just the skill?
It is an ability. It only targets one person, so I'm just seeing if there's anyone moving that I can look at.
Probably
And
the
I'm gonna try it.
nearest. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever's there, I'm be like, hey, bud, so cool. We're good. We're good. Sorry.
Okay, give me a roll.
That is a 16.
16. Yeah. So, like, the creature that was in the hollowed out tree that you used to hide behind and were about to knock on, like, the shuffling inside seems to stop. And then there's almost a skittering sound of feet rushing. And then maybe 4 feet above your head, much higher up in the tree, a section of it like almost opens like a flower blooming, only it's like the bark spreading open. And a head pokes out and looks down at you, looks at Senor Fluffington, like squeaks and like ducks back in, and then like starts to peek out again. Oh, what are you doing? We were asleep. What are you doing? How did you even find us? What's going
We
on
were
here?
sent
What's going
by.
on?
No, we're looking for Bingo. We were sent for or we're looking for Bongo, and we were sent by Bingo. One of the two.
Bingo, Bingo, Bingo's been gone for years.
Yeah, he lives in town. We just talked to him.
Hello.
Do you mean Mongo?
Maybe. What was his name?
Bongo.
Bongo. For sure, it was Bongo, right? Yeah, Bongo.
That's my nephew. Why would
Yeah, he lives in
Bongo
town.
send you here?
Fluffy.
And like
Hello.
Fluffy's the
little,
werewolf.
yeah, this little gnome head with like a scraggly but very long little beard pokes its head a little further out, sees you, Senor Fluffington, squeaks again and jumps, and then like ducks back again. And you can see
No,
like
no, but they're cool werewolf. They're nice.
Hello.
hmm, are you sure they're not going to eat us?
Fluffy, you're not eating anybody, right? Cool, yeah. We're pretty good. We're friends.
Are they made of food?
No. No, I do.
He looks very suspicious at that question.
If no food, then no eat.
They're
No,
they're
no,
not
no.
food.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
I won't eat you.
Make a persuasion slash interaction roll, Senor Fluffington. It is eased by 1 from Vrac helping.
19.
19.
Hmm.
He looks like he begrudgingly believes it. Like, pulls at his beard with both hands, hunches down a little bit. And then, like, brings up 2 fingers to his mouth and does one of those really high-pitched, high shrieking whistles.
Good.
Like, really, really loud.
Ow.
It's all right, guys. I think Bongo might have gotten into something. Everybody go back to bed. Everybody go back to bed.
Good night.
Great.
Sorry to
Um,
disturb you.
I'm not.
It's the middle of the night.
Yeah, I'm kind of nocturnal, so like
Hmm.
day's not really my thing.
All right. I don't think you'll fit
And then
in the
like
tree.
werewolves too, right? Like, you don't really see a werewolf in the middle of the day.
Sometimes depends on where you are and where you're making deliveries to. Um, yeah. So, uh, I guess I'll come down and talk to you guys. Are you sure this couldn't wait until morning? Uh,
I mean, it's kind of either we're in the middle of our night or you're in the middle of your night. So sorry.
you're such a courteous individual. Hmm.
I know, right?
Do I smell any food?
Not currently, no. Says the
Okay.
person munching on fucking marshmallows.
It looks so good. I'm so jealous.
Look,
What a marshmallow.
Camp had a surplus of s'more materials,
Oh God.
Oh,
and we've been too lazy to actually make the s'more, so we're just eating all the different parts of it
That's fair.
throughout the day.
I
that's
oh
the
man,
dream.
I'm gonna have to see what I have that's marshmallow adjacent in my house at break.
Yeah, marshmallows.
Um,
But yeah, so
yeah,
he
cool.
looks like he's reluctant, but also realizes that you guys probably aren't going to let him sleep if he tries. So his head like fully disappears from the opening that had been the window, and the bark just merges back together as it closes. And then there's the faint sound of thumping as he runs back down the stairs. And slowly, the door that had been well camouflaged, but is not like magical, like the windows were, peeks open, and he's just got a little oil lantern. And he squints up at you. He's all of 2.5 feet tall.
Wow,
I'll
you're really
I'll
tall.
crouch down. 'Cause I, don't like when people loom over me, and then be like, "Hey, how's it going? Thanks for
Who are you? What
coming
do you
out
want?
the night." That's Fluffy. I'm Brack.
Hello.
It's Thorn. Fluffy's the one who was like chatting with Bongo. Bingo? Bongo.
Yeah.
Out of character, I have absolutely no memory of,
You,
of
you're
why we're here. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so
It's been an intense 2 weeks.
it been more than 2 weeks because you missed last session. It's
All
been a
right.
month for
It's
you.
been a month.
It's been a month for you. So roll intelligence to see if Senor Fluffington would remember, and I will tell you why you wanted to be here.
Man.
Because otherwise, well, Thorn might have questions. Senor Fluffington might have forgotten what he wanted to find them for.
fair.
Did you roll an at one?
I rolled a 3.
You
I'm
rolled a
gonna
three?
I'm gonna
Great.
spend an XP point on re-rolling that. Hold on.
Okay.
You're like, why am I here? I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
That's so real.
I just rolled a natural 1.
At least with the re-roll, you get to choose the one that you want. So
Oh my god.
it was a 3,
Okay.
but 3 still doesn't help you.
The one that I want,
Is the net-
it's the now one, just because it's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
I'm
You
keeping
have
the now one.
no.
I don't care.
You don't know. You're not even really sure if you remember who Bongo was. You
Yeah.
you know that there was that lady that you got the stick from.
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
remember that. And then
Hmm.
for some reason you guys wanted to go for a walk in the woods, and
Mhm.
Thorn left without you, so you had to go find her. And
You're
then
always
she
up
had
for a
to
walk,
find
right?
you because you didn't know where to go. So
Right.
that's
Right.
all that
Right.
you really remember.
Mm-hmm.
Bongo might have been someone.
Hmm. Is this is Senor Fovington says this out loud. Uh, is Bongo one of Thorn's aunts?
No,
Oh no.
no.
Hmm. Hmm. And he just has this moment of like he's sitting there waiting for you guys to do whatever he thinks you guys are meant
What
to
we're
do
doing.
here. Yeah, and he's just waiting for you guys to be done.
Thorn, without having to roll, because you are not a chihuahua,
Mm-hmm.
you know that you guys were seeking out the forest gnomes because they are who taught Bongo about herbs and to be an apothecary, which created an interest from Senor Fluffington, along with the possibility of them maybe being able to tell you what some of the herbs that you identified the witch picking up might be used
Mm-hmm.
for. But additionally, Senor Fluffington, while speaking with Bongo, something about because of the herbs was convinced that Bongo would know Juan. Never explained to you why, and then asked Bongo if his who taught him about the herbs, and he said my uncles, and he's like, do your uncles know Juan? I don't know. You would have to ask them. And thus began your journey.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Well, okay, so I guess I'm gonna speak up on behalf of the group.
Yep.
Hello, I'm Thorn.
Yeah, you're the one with the brain
Uh,
cell.
we met Bongo at his apothecary, and it turns out that uh well, like there was a hag that was a customer
Hag?
of his. A
Oh,
hag, yes.
he shouldn't be dealing with hags. Those are dangerous
Well,
creatures.
the hag was disguised. I don't think he knew it was a hag. We knew it was a hag
How
though.
did you know it was a hag if it was disguised? They're dangerous creatures. You
Um
shouldn't be dealing with those.
uh yes, Fluffy?
Uh, no,
Oh,
I was swatting at a bug.
oh, I thought you were raising your hand to speak. My bad.
No.
I was like, well, we've had a few run-ins with a couple of hags. It's a long story. It's sort of not important. The moral of the story, he's Bongo's okay. His shop is not so much okay, but we had a couple questions about the things that the hag was buying.
I'm
See,
sure that they were things that she needed if she was disguised and buying them. She was buying
yeah,
them?
she was buying them. Yes,
Hmm.
she was disguised like she looked kind of. I'm assuming she looked kind of like a normal person.
Yeah,
We
she
saw
looked
for
like the
her.
very what remembering back, she looked like the very pretty enchantress just in
Hmm.
nicer clothing, or not nicer
Hmm.
clothing, in like more normal clothing than the like artfully tattered velvet that she
Hmm.
was when you first saw her. So she looked like a very, very pretty
Hmm.
townsperson.
Yeah. So, it isn't the first time we've encountered this particular hag on our journeys. And Bongo told us that he learned everything about herbs from his uncles, which I'm assuming that is who you are.
I'm one of
And
them.
we just
He's
had,
got about 7 or 8 here.
yeah. So we were kind of hoping that maybe we could pick up some leads about maybe what the hag might have been up to based off the things that she was buying.
Mm, I don't like dealing with hags. Dangerous
No, trust me,
creatures.
Like
you
us,
Dangerous,
don't you
like
dangerous
don't you don't
creatures.
want to.
stop them. Like that's kind
Dangerous
of what
creatures.
we do.
Hmm?
We kind of like stop them. It's like kind of our thing.
Yeah,
I'm
we've
I'm
been
still
kind
her
of tasked with trying to stop them.
So
Um,
like helping us would be like helping to stop a hag, basically.
I stole her
Looks you up and down very carefully.
stick.
Sniffs at you once or twice. Hmm. I'll help you in the morning.
fair
But
enough.
first, I need sleep. Interrupting me in the middle of the night howling in our middle of our village. Who does that? Like, just without even saying goodbye, grumbling to himself, turns back around and
Wait,
slams the bark behind him.
is there somewhere we can sleep or something? We're just gonna stand in the middle of the clearing all night?
Not in my house, you can't fit. And that's just muffled through the door.
I think we're just gonna have to rough it out in the good old outdoors.
Great.
It's just for a couple hours until they all wake up.
Yeah, yes.
That person was really tiny. Is that normal?
Oh yeah.
For them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of like really small folk on this side of things.
I'm not used to looking down at people when they're talking.
Yeah, me neither.
So,
So
do
did
you
you feel like
guys.
Oh, sorry. I was just I just probably was just asking them if they got what they needed.
I don't know. Did you get what you needed?
What did I need?
I mean, I guess you won't till morning.
Yeah, we'll wait till maybe we'll have a couple of other people that can chime in the morning, you know. Like we should probably get some rest too, honestly. You know, maybe we'll all be better for it.
Yeah, we kind of didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
Yeah, no, not really.
I got a lot of sleep.
That's good. You were like really fucked up though, right? Like you got like beat up and shit. Yeah, I mean we should take a rest, I guess. I don't know. Thorn, this one's gonna be on you. I don't know. Like you're like the ranger. Go find some camping stuff, I guess.
You know what? I'm gonna roll for it just to see if there's anything.
If you can find a tent in the woods,
Yeah,
that's always a good sign. Fairy
or
tale.
just like anywhere that like even just like a lean-to or something. I don't know. That was a 9. It's not the worst.
Yeah, not the worst. Um, there is no magically appearing lean to that just pops up out of nowhere in the woods. Because the area does seem a bit more cultivated, it's less like thick with brambles and like ferns and undergrowth, so it's fairly easy to find a spot that is well sheltered and possibly has a decent little bed of moss to sleep on. Um, but beyond that, it's pretty much, unless you guys brought camping gear specifically, you're just gonna be roughing it on the ground. Or
This is
possibly
home.
in a tree.
This is home for me. I'm crashing.
Yeah.
As soon as they point out a spot, I'm just like,
Oh, you're gonna curl up like a dog.
Oh,
yeah. I start walking in circles for a second.
Uh,
It almost reminds you of leaving Senor Fluffington back at the inn, where his foot was just kind of going as they slept.
yeah. I feel like I would just kind of like lean up at the foot of a tree and just kind of wedge into it and just kind of relax. If I fall asleep, I fall asleep. If I don't, it's what it is. What it is.
Yeah.
can I make some kind of survival roll to find somewhere to sleep?
Go right ahead. Do you
I'm
have
not
any
good.
training or hindrances or anything that would affect it? Okay. Give me a flat roll. It's intellect
Nope,
based.
that's a 4. I'm sleeping on rocks.
Yeah. You thought that it was going to be nice and comfy because it seemed fairly green and that there was some nice soft moss there, but it's that the moss was covering a bunch of like oddly shaped stones. So like you're just like, oh, this looks good, and then just plop down
Well,
and you get like a couple like sticking into your back and one that like pokes you in
yeah.
the ribs a little bit, and then like your head like knocks into a root that looked like it was just a nice soft mound but happened to be covered, and so it's just a spot on the ground.
That's not good.
Yeah. almost reminds you of like your first time around in like the caves and everything, but
Yeah.
yeah, that doesn't quite have the right smell.
Smells like gnomes.
Yeah, it's the temperature's lovely. It's easy enough to fall asleep if you're able to find a comfortable spot. It's just, you know, there.
I'm not sleeping.
Yeah,
I'm just rolling like a rotisserie.
yeah.
I feel like I would just like hear just the rolling and like the rocks clinking together, and I kind of pop open an eye. I was like, if you need to like a more comfortable place, like here's pretty comfortable.
I guess. Like get up, brush some of the moss off, and come over and lean beside Rosa or Thorn
Mm-hmm.
on a tree.
Mm-hmm. Gonna get comfy there.
Yep.
Okay. So as you kind of like wedge yourself in, still have to shift a couple of times because you got maybe a bruise from your ribs landing on that rock.
Nope. It's Vrack. So Vrack comes over and lies down with their head on Rosa's lap. And it's like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no, you're right. This is pretty comfy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
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 So big old floof of white hair in your lap.
Yep.
And you rest your guitar nearby, easy at hand. And do you guys fall asleep other than Senor Fluffington?
100%. Oh, well, I do.
We're all asleep. Let's
Okay,
all
Yeah.
put our guards down.
Yeah, so
It's
you
great.
guys
It's fun.
slowly begin to nod off in the very, very early hours of the morning because it's maybe 2 or 3 a.m. Then there's the sound of chirping bird song and the warmth of sun on your face, and suddenly right into your back, Thorn, like the tree like slams into you. You were leaning against someone's door, and then you hear behind you a plethora of very creative cursing of what the fuck is like, I'm trapped, I'm trapped, I'm trapped, like panic because it's one of the many tree homes of these forest gnomes that you just happened to lean against because it was a nice comfy flat spot that was essentially just the stoop to their home.
Mm.
That is where you are currently sitting.
I feel like I startle, and I feel like my being startles
Yeah.
Vrack, and like I feel like I just kind of like instinctually like stand up and
Vrack smacks on the ground.
yeah.
What the
Perfect.
fuck?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
like
I'm
as
so sorry. I didn't. I thought this was just like a normal tree. I'm so sorry.
can I also get a defense roll from Vrack as the door slams open again, them trying to like ram it open, and your face is like right there.
Yeah.
Um,
Nope. That's
So-
a 7.
so you're like laying there confused and starting to sit back up, and you're just like, what? And like Thorn is just off to the side, barely, going, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And then, right as she's trying to warn you, the person going, I'm not gonna be trapped today, as they run and like shoulder check the door to try and slam it open.
Cool. I'm still groggy. I just finished saying what the fuck, and then the door catches me in the side of the face.
Yeah. The wolves didn't get me. What happened?
Wow.
Oh,
Ow.
uh, big people.
No. What the fuck?
Big people.
Black eye or something. Ow.
Why did you trap me?
I didn't mean to. I thought this was just a normal tree. I didn't realize it was your home. I'm so sorry.
Ow.
And like just gestures dramatically to it. It looks like a normal tree, just with part of the bark like a giant sheet swung open.
Your house is very comfortable.
It is. Unless you're trapped inside. You're very rude. And then just bustles off.
I just flip him off. He walks away.
Yeah.
Just still lying on my back with like a big bruise on the side of my face.
But yeah, looking around, bruised face and all, you see that it is easily morning. There seems to be bustling activity all around of like little 2 to 3 foot uh, bipedal creatures that you assume to be forest gnomes with wild tufts of hair in all colors, like any color that you would find in nature, just like. And some of them have scraggly little beards, and some of them have like these really weird long mustaches, and others are clean shaven. They all seem to be male or male presenting, just like going about getting water, tending to a variety of plants. Some of them have baskets either on their arm or on their back that they're gathering things in. Several are wearing what seem to be treated leaves as leather aprons, like large monstera leaves as aprons as they're working. And you see the one with the scraggly stone gray colored beard just like sitting on one of the branches of his tree, which was nearby, watching you and chuckling to himself as he like on a pipe.
Vert gets sprawled in the middle of the village. I imagine because they're very long. They're a very tall person.
Yeah.
I imagine somebody like
It's
huffs as they step over Vrek's legs.
Oh yeah, it's very Gulliver's Travels, but they
Yeah.
did not actually intend to capture you.
No.
Senior Fluffington, by the way, is still fast asleep.
They are giving him a wide berth.
Vrek just continues to lie there and is like, if I get up, am I gonna like squish somebody? Or are we good?
No.
Okay. Well, like,
This is much
very
more amusing than
cautiously
getting woken up in the middle of the night.
get up.
Yeah.
Yeah, except it's in the middle of the night for us, which sucks.
It's
Yeah,
not
he's
the
gonna
middle of the
coffee.
night, it's middle of the morning. You slept in.
Yeah, it's the middle of the night for us.
We don't have coffee, but we do have a couple of like teas. And there's a bark tea that might help with your head, with the whole face.
Oh, that sounds great, actually.
Yeah, because you've got the.
Yeah.
It's still kind of red. And then, like, just hops down from maybe 13 feet off the ground, lands nimbly on both feet, still, like, puffing at his pipe, just waddles away in the direction of something to get you, theoretically, some sort of bark tea. Are either of you gonna wake up Senor Fluffington?
I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna say, do they even have like cups that big? Or are they just gonna give us like a little acorn? Like what's the deal?
Oh man, I don't know, and I don't care at this point. I don't think we're gonna get anything to eat though, because we'd eat them like a week's worth of food just for one of us. We might
True.
need Fluffy to like hunt something for us if we want to eat.
Food. I want the food.
Says if Fluffy's hungry.
Mhm.
Twitch.
Yeah. At the mention of food, he just starts twitching.
Hey, yo, you think if we wake Fluffy up, we're gonna get like claws in the face or something?
I don't think so. I just hope that he doesn't run off if we try to wake him. Don't want to startle them and have them just had that happen before.
I mean, like, let sleeping dogs lie, right? And this one's like a
Mhm.
werewolf, so
Yeah. Perhaps this may be for the best that they wake up on their own.
hey, Fluffy, Fluffy! I say well out of range. Fluffy, Fluffington, breakfast,
Can
Fluffy.
I make a wake up roll?
You can make an awareness roll to see if you hear. Also, give me an awareness roll from the other two.
12.
12? Okay.
9.
7.
7. All right. So, Senior Fluffington, because you do have keen senses, you would faintly hear someone calling your name. And if there was also the mention of food, that like kind of caught your attention. Say you were half awake, half asleep, so you'd be able to hear it. And then what were the other two? Sorry,
7.
7 and 9. Okay, yeah. Um, it's just nice, warm, sunny day. Variety of little forest gnomes rushing around doing their business. As you're slowly waking Senor Fluffington back up, the older gnome that you had spoken to comes bustling back, and he's got what seems to be a bowl filled with some sort of steaming, faintly brownish green liquid.
Oh. Is that your like bark juice or whatever?
Yes.
Cool, thanks. I'll take the little bowl.
It's like a bowl to them, so it would seem like a small cup to you.
Yeah, like a little sippy.
Yeah. It's willow bark tea, so
yeah. I will sip at it.
Yeah. It'll take it a little bit, but once it does start to kick in, it does have pain relieving properties. Senior Fluffington, you have awoken in the middle of a forest gnome village with your friends. You were called awake by Vrak, who is now sipping from what seems like a very small bowl to you, or a cup to them.
They grow larger today. I feel. Am I? Am I tall? Am I bigger?
Do you want to be? It's not really all that great.
Not this big. Everybody's so small.
Who are you calling small, scrawny?
I just do this low turn at whoever that is.
Yeah, and then you have to also look down. It's the grumpy old gnome that you guys spoke to the previous night.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there.
Inconsiderate still. Well, what do you want? You said something about identifying things, helping you out.
Right.
It's your
right.
job to fight dangerous things or something.
Yes, yes. So we have a list of things that the hag bought, and we were hoping that maybe you could tell us some of the properties and the way it could. I don't know if she's brewing like a poison or a weapon or something.
Baking a cake.
Might be able to help.
Baking a cake, yeah. An evil cake. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bilby is a little bit better at understanding poisons and such, but I know some things about general medicines, and Boff might be able to help as well. Yeah. Might have to call a council of the brothers. Yes. So who are you? What are your names? Why are we helping you?
I'm Thorn. This is Rack. That's Senor Fluffington.
Hello.
We call him Fluffy for short.
He
And
doesn't
we
look very fluffy. He's kind of scrawny. Awfully small for a wolf.
yes, well, we are I kind of leaned over to Vrack and was like, should we tell him that we're like the like chosen warriors or something? Like, is that something that we should still
Maybe. Okay, let me try this first though.
Mhm.
Cause like we saved Bingo from a hag, so like kind of was this one. He told us to come over here, and then you guys would help us out.
Bingo's
Make
been
things
gone for
smooth.
years.
Bongo?
Bongo?
Bongo. Right. Right. Something about a hag shopping from him.
Yeah, the hag didn't look like a hag, which is why she was at the shop.
I stole her stuff. Oh, I mean, his stick. Just this used to be hers, now it's mine.
Who stole a hag stick?
I like
Looks you up
steak.
and down again.
Yeah,
You
they're real good at
survived.
sticks.
You survived, huh? Hmm.
Yeah, we fought them like 30 times.
It was like twice, maybe 3 times.
A lot of hag
Like a
fighting.
bunch, like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're still here, which is the kind of a huge thing, actually.
Give me a
I mean,
combined interaction roll to see how well this
I'm not
grobby
even
little
on
character
this.
is interacting with you.
Just go on straight
18.
roll.
18,
11.
11,
7.
7. All right.
No more is the
Fluffy's carrying us.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think the staff is doing a lot of the lifting here. Let's be honest.
I can prove that these hacks stick.
No, no need, no need. This way,
Okay.
we're gonna have to have an early lunch.
Oh,
Council of Brothers. Council of
I like
Brothers.
food.
Yes. And he
Can I
starts
have
like
food?
just turns around and starts waddling away from you.
Oh.
Come along, come along, come along.
Oh, okay.
You're so
I
slow
was
for
just about
such
to
big
ask.
people.
This is follow, I guess.
Follow along.
You're so slow for such big people. Like waddle, 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 waddle. And he does move oddly fast for such a small creature.
This is giving me brownie vibes.
Yeah.
Um, but as you're walking and as he's walking ahead of you, you can tell that he seems older than a lot of the other gnomes that you just see out and about tending to things. And there's the occasional click or whistle that he makes as he walks that catches the attention of those that you're passing, who turn and look at him and then look at the three of you following him and seem to settle what they're doing before starting to follow you. And it becomes almost a procession towards like this winding road through the settlement in the woods. Are you guys doing anything as you guys walk, or you're just kind of going along with it?
I want to keep my eyes open for any special looking sticks.
Okay.
And or food. And or food.
Okay. Give me a perception/awareness.
Amazing.
13.
13. There's a variety of sticks around. Many of them are still attached to trees and bushes.
This one not fun.
None that seem particularly special. There's the occasional berry bush that you pass by, and other foods that, because you have training in herbalism, that you can tell are, in fact, most of the things that are growing are edible in some fashion. Sometimes they have to be prepared, but you've essentially stumbled on a very well kept food forest.
Cool. In that case, as I am walking,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hedge magic levitate all of the food that I see. Well, not all of them, but enough for me to eat. So just like there's like just my staff, and then just like a halo of berries floating around me that I'm slowly eating as we go along.
I am going to need an intellect check from you to achieve this as you go along.
Okay, I'm gonna put a level of effort into this. Actually, yeah, I can only put one.
It's very strange to go from such high level characters to
Yeah,
tier 1 characters in this campaign.
I'm using one of my ciphers. God damn it. The same thing happened. I rolled a 3 and then I re-rolled it and not 1.
No.
You managed to, with the 3, get like the occasional like little berry, but they're all sour, unripe ones that you just managed to grab accidentally when reaching out with your power to grab the others, because your hedge magic is primarily subconscious, so attempting to direct it isn't something that you're super practiced in.
Yeah, this is one of
Um,
the very first times where I've actively wanted to use my magic.
yeah, and it's just it's not super controlled. Um, so like you do manage to get a couple that like end up floating around you, and then like you try to subtly be like sort of like a dog that's sneaking food that it's not supposed to, and then it's like sour and unripe and a little tough.
I think as we're walking, Senior Fluffington just has this just face of disgust, but is stubbornly continuing to eat the gross food
Yeah,
because it's my food and I'm gonna eat it.
yeah,
That's
But
fair.
there's just like dogs eating noises in the background, just happening all the time.
yeah. Um, but eventually you do get to what is essentially the meeting center of this little forest gnome settlement, where the figure that you have not asked the name of and has not deigned to introduce himself, though he's mentioned the name of a couple others, um, seems to make another couple of whistles and slowly emerging from several of the other trees around this almost grove between hills uh, are probably another 8 or so somewhat elderly gnomes that all like hobble forward. One is even using a cane, but they all seem to still move fairly fast. And in this central area, instead of it being like a variety of seats with a podium or anything like that, it seems to be just a massive array of very crudely put together, like very naturalized looking dinner tables with very small seats. And several of the gnomes that have gathered as you've walked start rushing around, putting together stilts almost like some cuts of wood to help raise up one of the tables that's just big enough for the three of you, and like pushing over what seems to be sections of stumps for you to be able to sit on.
I sit
Um,
on the ground.
you sit on the ground.
Yeah,
Okay.
right next to it,
Yeah.
to one of them.
Yeah.
Whichever one I think. Well, I think Vrak would be more likely to get me food that I shouldn't be eating. So I'm gonna instinctively sit down by Vrak.
Okay.
Awesome. Vrak
Okay.
tries to fold himself onto this like tiny gnome table that's been propped up, but like their knees are past their ears.
Yeah,
Just like
it's sort of like someone has taken a children's crafting table and
yeah,
put it on blocks for you to attempt to sit at.
cool. It's just as awkward as you would expect.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
because you are tall and gangly in
Mm-hmm.
Vrak's form. Thorn, how
I
do you
am
react to this hospitality?
I am
I
trying my
didn't like how
best
that question was asked.
to stay on their good side.
Hmm?
I'm going to be very polite. I'm going to try to sit on like the weird little like bench, even though I'm also just as tall and awkward and just kind of
Elves,
sitting.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so you guys get arranged, and the elderly gnome that you had been speaking to begins kind of quietly conversing with the other older ones that have gathered, and there's several gestures back in your direction as the rest of the village seems to be gathering the equivalent of a vegetarian's forest feast together. There are berries, there are nuts. They begin grilling like puffball mushrooms and grating things onto them that kind of go gooey and melty. There's a variety of vegetables that are naturalized, so not like garden vegetables that you would find at the market, but other types of tubers and wild tomatoes and various things like that, as just a massive spread of very different but very good smelling food. Um, and as everything is gathered, they don't seem to mind or care if you guys pick at the food as it's being put out at the tables, but just more and more and more keeps coming. More than it makes sense, considering that there doesn't seem to be storage anywhere nearby. There are like carved, petrified bottles that are filled with some sort of liquid that sloshes as they
Right.
set it down, and sparkling, not like effervescent, but like a sparkling, faintly golden water, maybe, that you're not sure about. It might be a juice, but it's a little bit thinner and easier to see through
I
than
am going to
the
quaff the mystery
unpasteurized
bottle.
juices typically are. It's a full spread that they are treating you to,
Nice. Some
and
hospitality.
yeah, and
I
eventually,
Frank immediately is going for a mystery bottle and is like, bottom
it's
cheers.
it seems to be a strange mix of pressed berries, water, and honey, with like you couldn't see the fizz to it, but just the slightest fizz that indicates that there is a little bit of fermentation, but brings it closer to like kombucha or natural soda than it does to sparkling wine.
Yeah.
Um,
Frank takes a big swig and then it's like, oh,
but the other two of you, do you just kind of dig in as everything gets set up and the other gnomes gradually gather to this centralized feast and meeting?
I am going to rest my puppy head on Vrak's lap and give them the puppy eyes to be given food because he does not understand that he is just able to go for it. And he's being very polite right now because he is bored. Or sorry, not bored, because he's confused.
yeah. I'll be like, hey, Thorn, is there anything here that dogs can't eat?
Everything. Oh no, there's nothing. I can eat everything.
Well, it's in such small portions, I don't think it would necessarily hurt.
Okay, cool. And then it's like one bite for me, one bite for Fluffy, one
Yeah.
bite for me, one bite for Fluffy.
I
Also, I'm going to assume that other than your experience in Fairy Tale Land, that Rosa mostly grew up in the city.
mhm,
There's a lot here that you don't recognize
yeah, yeah,
because you're
but
used
it,
to like grocery store food.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is like picked in the middle of a forest.
Yeah.
yes.
And it's all edible.
This
It's
is,
just you don't know what the majority of it is.
yeah, and I was like, well, I'll keep an eye on Fluffy if they start feeling sick.
The
I
dogs are real
don't-
good at throwing up, right? If they need to, they get
Yeah,
like it's bad.
I'll just make sure they don't do it anywhere near a gnome's
Yeah.
house.
Just eat some grass or something.
Well,
Mhm.
If you feel bad.
as you
And I turn to
guys,
the others. I turn to like the group that's like forming, and I just say thank you for the hospitality.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, of course,
Mhm.
of course, of course. Yeah. And there's just like a chorus of agreement across all of the various
Mhm.
little forest gnomes that have gathered and are starting to get seated and like also serve themselves large servings. Like, how can something that small eat so much level servings from the various tables? And the elderly gnomes that have all just kind of been congregated together and discussing things finally seat themselves at a table and begin to also serve up various food. And the one that you had spoken with seems to be at the center and looking out at you guys and goes, "So, they've called the Council of the Brothers. And apparently, it's your job to fight hags, and you want to know about what one of them wanted to purchase from our nephew.
Correct. Perhaps you can give us some insight into potential tinctures, potions, poisons, anything that could maybe give us a lead on what maybe she was planning. Or she could have just been baking an evil cake or something. I don't know.
Well, we are happy to help. We're happy to help where we can.
Mm-hmm.
It's odd. It's the three of you would be here. We're willing to help, but we're gonna be calling on some of our old friends that might be able to be better helps to you. Who better than the Chosen? And that's where we're gonna take a break.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
All right.
They figured it out.
Ew. So we will be back. Stretch your legs, get some water, get some marshmallows if you're craving, and we'll see you
yes.
soon. Bye.
Bye.
So,
Hello, hello.
welcome back to Once Upon a Reflection, episode 18. But yes, the group, the party, has found the village of forest gnomes that they were very poorly directed towards by the half gnome apothecary in the village that they had previously been in. After scaring the fuck out of the majority of people there by howling loudly as a wolf in the middle of the night at like 2 a.m. They did manage to convince at least one of them that they were not only not a danger to them, but in need of assistance. And after insisting to be allowed to sleep a little bit more, had a little bit of a nap, woke up sometime mid morning, and with a little bit more chat with the as yet unnamed forest gnome, it was decided that he needed to call a council of brothers together for everyone to meet and discuss the things that the group claims to need, also having claimed that it is their job to fight hags. But everyone has seated, food is spread and around and available, and the elderly gnomes, of which there are many, are sitting at a single table on the opposite side of the small clearing. And the one that seems to be their representative that had been speaking to you most said that they are willing to help you, but despite your claims that it is your job to fight the hags, they wish to summon some of their own allies who they claim to be the chosen. And that is where we took a break. How would you guys say that you are reacting to this news before he continues?
I'm not.
I will lean in really close to Thorn and like really, really quietly whisper, "Isn't that us?"
Yeah, I thought we were the chosen. Let's just
Man, if
war.
there's other chosen, then I'm fucking out of here. They can do it.
Well, let's find out, I guess.
So there seems to be other whispering, almost excited whispering among the various forest gnomes around you in reaction. Uh, Welcome, new follower. But there seems to be other like excited whispers in reaction to the news that the Council of Brothers intends to call upon their allies, the Chosen, and you can hear and almost feel the palpable excitement of the rest of the forest gnomes around you as they go about eating their meal and like looking curiously at you. Some of them significantly less wary now, knowing that this is intended, and the Council of Brothers all seem to be kind of grumbling amongst themselves but nodding in agreement. And then like the oldest one that you had been speaking to just kind of holds up his hands to quiet everyone down. So, uh, what herbs are there exactly that you wished us to assist with the identification of, that she might have been attempting to purchase from our nephew?
Out of character, I have forgotten.
Um, you weren't able to identify a lot of them, but there is a small list of them, and it does seem to be fairly eclectic. One of the ones that stood out to you was mistletoe, which is not only out of season, but is primarily used as a poison. But you would be able to kind of hand over a written list of it
Okay.
to them, and one of the gnomes would come over and like take that, and then just kind of excitedly wave at Senor Fluffington before like scurrying over to the other table and handing it off to them, and all like 7 or 8 of these elderly forest gnomes just kind of confer around each other, like putting their head down, very comical looking. as they're going over, and then just, like one of them like whacks another one of them over the top of the head, and you can't quite hear what they're saying, but there does seem to be a variety of disagreements on what the uses of several of these items are. Um, would anyone like to roll to attempt to hear any of it? Okay.
I do.
I think Vrac does not care. Vrac's
Four.
here
Four.
for the
No,
murder.
I think I will roll. I might not understand, but I am curious. I was a 12?
Not bad. So you mostly heard the slightly raised voices after like the head smack that had happened from one of them, and it seems to be a, why would she be making a tincture for burns? That doesn't make any sense. She's a hag. They don't get burns. And like back and forth about that and what the various selves would be, because there does seem to be a sweet bush ingredient in there that is typically the sap and parts of the stems are used for like rashes and burns and things like that. But they don't seem to be coming to an easy agreement on if all of the items that you were able to identify, especially since you weren't able to identify everything, would be combined in a particular use. But eventually they do come back up from their huddle, and the paper, now very wrinkled and slightly torn from them, like taking it out of each other's hands very aggressively, gets spread smooth on the table next to one of their plates as like several of them go back to eating and then nodding and conferring, and one of them looks a little bit more disgruntled than the others. They go, oh, we don't believe that it was a single shopping list. We don't think it was just for one item that they were trying to make, because none of these, well, some of them go together, but not all of them go together as a general recipe that we are able to determine. We can't claim, of course, that we're to the extent of training and knowledge that a hag would have. It's not exactly the same things that we do, but in general, we do make our lives and gestures around with the tending of the nature around us, and know a good number of their uses, and it does not seem to be a single recipe. There are a variety of things in here that, when properly worked into different recipes, and it's missing several things that it would be needing for this, would either make others ill or cloud their mind.
I'm nodding as I'm taking in all the information. Go, very interesting, very interesting.
Sorry, I just rolled to see if my character made a connection that my brain did, and then I rolled a 1.
So your character very much did not make that connection.
Yeah,
Fluffy is not on their game tonight.
No.
I don't think you realize that this is his game.
Yeah.
This is what he's always is.
Yep.
When he does good, it's my mistake.
But
Good. Me too.
so
Yeah.
We're doing great.
yeah, young Vrac and Fluffy and Thorn. We will help you as much as we can on this. It's not much of an ask to say, what do these things do and what should we do against them. We will also be sending a variety of our brothers and nephews and grandsons and children to go help with the mending of young Bongo's livelihood.
Cool. That's real good. Oh, that's real good of you. Kind of
Yeah,
got like
we
up by
tried
the
to
head.
help, but I think he got scared of us because of the fight.
He was always the timid kind. Never bothered to set up any traps like we do, though. And you vividly remember getting shot with a variety of small pointed thorns.
Mm-hmm.
So, you say it's your job to fight these hags.
Amongst other things, the hags are usually the main thing that we have fought. Yes.
How did this become your job? We have chosen for that.
Yeah, we're chosen. There was a
There seems to
well,
be like an eruption of laughter across the entire audience of gnomes. No, you're not. We know them. We've met them before. We helped train one of them.
Who are these guys? You said you're like bringing them or something?
Yes, we have a means to attempt to reach out to them, but sometimes
Cool.
it
Love to
takes
meet
a
them.
while until they happen to pass over into our territories.
right. Well, as far as how we were chosen, I can't say for sure, but we did have a meeting with the one from the lake who
One
was
of
a
them,
farmer.
yeah, one of the other brothers kind of leans over to him and kind of whispers something under his breath, and just like, "It hasn't been that long. It hasn't been that long. Uh, we don't know anything about. I don't know anything. Do you know anything about a lake? There's nothing here about a lake."
Could I try to hedge magic a visual of the lake?
Ooh.
You could. It wouldn't affect a particularly large area
Yeah, I'm
because
not
hedge
sure.
magic is still a fairly minor thing. But
Yeah, just I just mean like one of them tiny Star Wars holograms.
okay, give me an intellect roll to see how well you do.
14.
14. So you do like about the size of a dinner plate. Seems to be
Big
this
for them.
perfectly smooth, unrippling, like no ripples, no sign of current or wind or anything. Perfectly smooth, glass topped lake surrounded by trees and mountains in just this tiny, hazy, like 8 to 10 inch sized dinner plate of a little mini hologram that they have to kind of squint to see from how far away you are because you're across the clearing from them. That's a lovely little trick that you've got there, young fluffy person.
This is where that person was talking to us.
Yeah, out of character, totally forgot what that person's name was, but
I know they supposedly look like Rumpelstiltskin, but so your yeah. Physically refused to look at this individual for the entire
Same.
Yeah,
conversation.
the only person that looked at them was Thorn.
Thorn.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the
That's
only
right. I'm
one
the
that
only one that
like
can give a
knows.
description.
Yeah, that has like a general description
Thorn
of
said
them.
Rumpelstiltskin, and Vrak was like, "Oh hell no, I don't want to see. I'm not involved."
And Fluffy followed
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah. I give the description of like who we met from the lake and some of the information that he had given us.
There seems to be a little bit of surprise and concern at hearing that, and they start like mumbling amongst themselves again. How it can't have been that long. It can't have been that long. Like, it's hard to make out the majority of it.
I'll look at one of them who's really nearby and be like, "Yo, how long do you guys all live?"
Oh, I'm only maybe 100 years old, but the brothers, they're definitely somewhere. He, like, leans a little bit closer. They're definitely somewhere around 600 or 700.
Cool.
They keep trying to say that there may be 5.
Because I'm like 28.
100 years old?
No, like years.
Just tilts its head at you. Tilts
So
its
like
head
maybe
again.
time goes different for us or something. Ron, how old are
People,
you?
like, then just turns to the one of the other forest gnomes nearby. Big people are weird.
I think I've established that Thorn is maybe 28 as well. I have forgotten.
Yeah. You're out of vet school or out of
Yeah.
like vet
Yeah.
techs
Yeah.
training, but that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, she can't be any older than 28.
Yeah. And Senor Fluffington is obviously even younger than both of you.
A dog.
Mhm.
But how
It's a
old are you
dog.
in dog years?
Like 40.
Not a thing. Not a thing.
No.
But yeah, so there's like discussion among them. And then slowly, the elderly one that you were speaking to stands up. We don't believe that it's been that long, but if you were assigned by one of, we're not really sure how that works, but
Me neither.
Yeah, we to be fair, we don't either.
if you were assigned by, that was the only one that you saw.
Wasn't there like a
Yes.
dude or something that you saw and then like a chick?
Well, in like it was like a almost like a vision or like a hologram, but we didn't like
Yeah.
they weren't like there.
And then he
You said there was
turns
like
to the
a
other ones and
pretty lady and like a knight or something?
Yeah, it was like a princess and a knight or something.
go get the chalice. We need to see if we can summon Juan.
Juan.
You said you know a one.
Yes, he was one of the chosen.
Well, what do you know about this person? This one. Hello, hi, it's me, Covington.
He was one of the chosen. That's exactly what I just said.
What else? What did he look like? What did he sound like? What did he do? What did he do? Who was he? What was he about?
Oh, he was sounded a little bit like you, but deeper, and he spoke a little bit slower.
That makes sense. Yes. Actually, I don't know if that makes sense. I've never known. What else? Tell me more.
Um, it was a big one. It was a big one, like you guys. A little hairy sometimes. Good
Yeah,
smile. He had a good smile. He was a nice guy. Good smile.
yeah, a little fair.
He had a kid, I think. We never met him. He didn't bring him here for training.
Mm-hmm.
Thorn speaks up at this point, and did one ever mention the kid's name?
Oh, no. He knows better than to give names here.
Smart.
Interesting. Very smart.
Oh,
Interesting.
we don't deal in names, but there's pixies around sometimes.
Mm.
Thieving little bastards.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Tell me more.
Well, we trained him on how to use plants and how to grow things. He stayed with us for a couple of months once, just learning about plants.
Okay.
He said he wanted to grow a garden at home to feed his family. Very nice guy. Helped to fight off. What was it? I think that was that the bear? That was probably there. There was a very big bear. I'm not sure if it was cursed or something, but yeah, he helped to fight off a big old bear that wanted to come crashing through our home at the time. Nice guy. Said it escaped from one of the other tails.
You okay, Fluffy? You kind of got like a thing going on.
I don't think I know what the bear eats.
Um, like you, but big chest, hobbles on all fours, smaller ears,
So like a
stouter
dog.
nose, like a dog, but bigger
Real big.
and fat.
That still sounds like a dog.
Think of him as sort of a forbidden dog.
Why is he forbidden?
Because it'll eat you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've I've big dogs have tried to eat me before.
You might have
Yeah, but like,
encountered a bear then.
how big a bear or how big a big dog would be for you normally is like how big a bear would be for me. Like big.
I think you're starting to talk in vocabulary that Senior Fluffington will not understand.
Just
Brack makes
like,
that big
okay, it was
gesture. Like they're
I think
like
it's
so
like,
big.
imagine the biggest dog that you've ever encountered and then just bigger.
He's 100% thinking of like a Great Dane right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Bigger.
Bigger than that.
You know cars?
Big metal things sometimes you chase
I,
after.
I know what cars is.
Yeah.
That's how I get the
Yeah,
bar.
they're about that size.
Imagine a dog the size of a car.
I don't like this.
No, it's real
Then
bad.
a couple of the brothers, while you guys are trying to explain what a bear is to Senor Fluffington, that had gone off to get some sort of chalice as directed by the elder that you were speaking to. Like, come out with this beautiful, like, silver and gold filigreed chalice, like drinking chalice that's like the size for regular medium sized people, not tiny little gnomes. And they begin to pour some sort of liquid, clear liquid in it from what seems to be a water skin of some kind, in front of him. And so, like, as you're trying to explain the bear concept to Senator Fluffington, they begin like chanting and like trying to do something with this chalice and are for the most part ignoring you now.
Eating breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Bear.
Yeah.
I never thought creatures that big existed.
Oh, they do.
Oh, we should take you to the zoo sometime. It's so cool.
Kind of funny.
Like a little doggy stroller or something.
Yeah.
What is a zoo?
It's like a weird place that humans put a bunch of animals so they can just look at them.
Sometimes they help them, but oftentimes it's just to look at them.
Well, most of the forest gnomes seem to be watching in fascination as this ritual is happening. Up on one end, there's like one that has discovered that you guys aren't even 100 years old, are like, is just watching you in rapt fascination as you not only describe a bear as a dog, but start trying to explain to Senor Fluffington how zoos work and what they are, because it has also never encountered a zoo.
No.
Big people are so weird.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right?
Do you put animals in cages to look at them because you're big? Is it because they're bigger than you and you don't want them to be?
It's
Or is
more
it
like
because they're
humans are-
smaller than you and you can? Are you gonna put me in a zoo?
It's more like because humans are just assholes sometimes.
You're not a human.
Eh,
You're an
We-
ice elf.
nah,
Exists between realms.
I haven't seen them a
Like-
lot, but you're obviously an ice elf.
I just look like an ice elf right now. Don't let appearances fool you.
Were you cursed? No wonder you want to meet the chosen. And then he like turns around and starts excitedly telling his neighbor that you guys want to meet the chosen because you were cursed into the form of an eye self, and no wonder you would want their help, because who wants to be an eye self? Those guys are assholes. Just like
No, for
not
real
being
though.
quiet about it at
Yeah,
all.
no, for real though. Rex just nodding as though they're like, yeah, no.
But to answer your question, no, we're not going to put you in a zoo. That's not what we do.
Yeah, we're not assholes.
So is a zoo just like a bad place, but for other animals?
Kinda, yeah, actually. That's not
Kind of.
a bad description. They even have like vets at zoos just
Mhm.
for like the lions and shit.
You have no idea what a lion is.
That is a lion.
Do you know what a
Oh.
cat is?
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay,
if a
imagine.
bear is a big dog, a lion is a big cat.
Like Lucy from down the street.
No,
Bigger.
like the size of a car.
Lucy's pretty big.
Bigger than what you're thinking.
Like they could eat us. And they do.
Okay.
There's a lot of really big animals out there if you're a chihuahua.
I love that, like, the comparison is it's big enough to eat a person.
I think what's funny is that Saint Fluffington fully believes that he could also do that, even as a
This is
Chihuahua.
this makes sense for every chihuahua I've ever
Mhm.
met.
Yeah, like he is 100% not understanding the scale of whatever this conversation is.
Yeah.
But as you guys are discussing the concept of the zoo and the lions, and the lion definitely being bigger than Lucy that's down the street,
Lions and
and
tigers and bears, baby.
the fact that they would be able to eat you, and also have a little side conversation going by a couple of the forest gnomes that had stopped paying attention to the ritual to be fascinated by the concept of a zoo, with people that are less than 100 years old and still somehow able to wander around and be adults. The ritual does finally finish, and there's a small flash of light, and then just this kind of golden haze that seems to wash over the area. And all of you feel that slight tug, that sensation from being one of the chosen, that says that there is something happening. It's not urgent. It's not that like something is incredibly wrong. It's the first time that you've felt it where it's just kind of the, oh, so it's sort of like someone's tapping on my shoulder.
Rat goes,
And then it fades.
fuck. And, then just like puts their head down on the table.
And then it fades, and you stop feeling it, even though that kind of golden, sparkly haze remains over the area.
Cool. Rex still just head down on the table.
I just lean over to one of the gnomes. It's like they get like this every time we get like the feeling, you know.
I hate it.
It's kind of like a weird like tugging sensation that lets us know when something's going on.
Like if I did this and then just reaches over and like grabs your shirt and like pulls on it really quickly.
Kind of, but like not external.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe it. I'm
Also,
sorry.
please give me an awareness check.
Just Thorn or everybody?
Just Thorn.
Uh-oh. It's only a 3.
Okay. Several of the flowers that decorate your clothing are missing, and you don't notice.
Hmm.
But as it settles, the brothers just kind of also settle back into their chairs and nodding to each other in satisfaction. it may take a little while, but if the chosen are around, they'll feel that, and one especially will come.
I mean, it's supposed to be we felt something.
Well, obviously, you saw what was happening.
Yeah. But I'm saying we felt it. And I kind of tap at my chest.
See, roll an interaction to see if you can convince them that you're not just bullshitting.
It sounds like we're bullshitting.
It sounds like we're
really
bullshitting,
does.
but I don't know
sounds
how
It
to
is
describe
an
oh, yeah.
obvious
That
visual
was a
effect that you
19,
just
baby.
saw them do this massive ritual to perform.
I rolled a 19 on that.
And like it
That's a pretty good
that
roll.
19, it does seem to convince several of them, and the whispers just kind of start across the various brothers and forest gnomes again as they look amongst each other and then look at you, and you can see that several of them are trying to do some mental math as to how many seasons it's been since they last interacted with some of the chosen.
I mean, do you think there's others that are still around that will answer the call?
Well, the five that we knew, they said there were others like them, but that weren't them. And that's kind of what we thought you were.
Yeah, I think we just met one the other day, actually.
Hey,
I don't know how often you get.
If there's a way to not be chosen, can you like give it to somebody else? Because that'd be great.
We weren't involved in any of the choosing.
Cool. Fuck my life. Rex just like falls over again.
Breck is more reluctant to be a chosen.
Well, you have to fight hags.
Yeah.
Who would want to fight a hag?
Fluffington, actually.
You want to fight hags? Wolfman Fluffy?
No.
I think Sarah Fluffington is staring at the person who's doing the ritual, and just watching that person intently.
He's looking straight at you right now, like asking you that question.
Good. Okay.
Why would you want to fight a hag? I mean, they're hags. They kill people, they eat people, they curse things. They're just kind of generally the villains of our world.
Well, that is our role as guardians, isn't it, Briggs? Just save things, stop evil.
I've heard that before. I've heard that before.
Yeah, we've had this conversation before, I think.
No, we haven't. I
No.
don't think I've ever.
No,
And
you
he's just
did
kind of
call.
squinting aggressively at you.
You you did call.
I called my good friend Juan and his irritating band of ruffians.
Well, that's rude, Rig. I they've got redeeming qualities for the most part.
Juan?
It's been a while.
No.
Rex head pops up. They look over at
Like
Fluffy.
both the
They're
word.
like, what?
What?
Did you get yourself cursed, son?
Uh, I I couldn't tell you. I'm not sure what's going on.
Wait. Was Juan a dude or was Juan a dog?
He turned into a wolf sometimes, but he was as human as you are an elf.
So not then.
You're an elf. I hate to break it to you, but you're an elf.
I
There's a weird. Anyway, don't worry about it.
no, I'm a human. Always been.
I
Have you
no,
looked in the
you've
mirror,
been
son?
no, you've always
Okay,
said
wait.
you're a dog.
Are you're Juan?
As at last I checked, I was.
The knight? Or were you the princess? I don't remember.
No, neither of those. Those
Okay,
are
so there was like four of them.
5 in total.
yep.
Oh, cool, right. Yeah. And you were so you're not a dog then named
Then
Senor Fluffington.
what happened to Fluffington?
Fluffy?
You mean my dog? What about them?
Does anybody have a mirror?
They just kind of gesture at the fact that you're in the middle of the woods. You would be able to point out the large wolfman hands that are, like, even without seeing their face, Senor Fluffington would be able to see that they are very much in a wolfman body.
Hmm. Well, that's new.
I wave and I was like, "Do you know who we are?"
Uh, uh, Elves?
Okay, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, have we met before?
We've been adventuring for quite a few months together. Only you're supposed to be a Chihuahua named Senor Fluffington.
Yeah, that's my dog. I assume you're,
Like
I guess you,
in fairy tale or
no, back home in Puerto Rico, just this little dog gave it to my kid.
Uh,
what's your kid's name?
Oh, out of character. It was Pedro, right?
Pedro, yeah.
Yeah. This is Pedro. Have you interacted with my
As
kid
you're
before?
as you're saying this, can I also get a intellect-based memory check from Juan?
Yes. 14.
14. You don't necessarily remember them,
Right.
but you do remember pain on a beach. Intense shooting pain. and then gradual numbness.
I'm gonna start like touching my my body, trying to find the place where the pain and the injury potentially.
You do feel a couple of sore spots where the body the previous day had gotten struck by what Juan would know are very typical spike traps that are launched from like little tiny, tiny, tiny catapults and trebuchets among the trees at intruders.
Ow. Um. Hmm. This is.
Rosa, wasn't that? I mean, Thorn, wasn't that Fluffy's kid's name?
Yeah, it was. It is.
This is fucked up.
Has Senor Fluffington been like a cursed chihuahua this whole time?
I mean, I've heard weirder shit.
I can hear you both. I'm like
Yeah,
literally
Yeah,
just
well, weird.
it's this is new for us too, frankly.
right.
We met Pedro, like,
And who
we were at your house.
and and who are you?
Yo,
uh.
we're your friends.
Hmm.
Slash former doctor.
Yeah. Rosa, because you don't have a issue with your memory, Rosa slash Thorn, you would also remember having met and interacted with Pedro's mother, who is named Dahlia.
Dahlia. Okay, I couldn't remember what her
Yeah.
name was.
Yeah, her name was Dahlia Ferreira.
Okay.
But yeah, Senor Fluffington's owners were Dahlia Ferreira and Pedro Ferreira. And while you weren't super familiar with them prior to all of this happening, they were clients of the veterinary clinic that you used to work at. So you had seen them around and would know their names for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Well, we had that whole conversation with. Well, I had that conversation with Pedro and Dahlia, and I turned to Juan. It's like, are those names familiar to you?
You know my family?
Yeah,
How are they? Are they okay?
they're doing fairly well.
Okay. Did they are they still waiting for me?
I don't know.
Okay. And I just stand up. I have to go. Just and I just kind of start walking backwards.
Juan, wait, you
Wait, yes,
impulse,
please.
impulsive as always. Um, yeah, last night when you and your friends woke me up at 2 a.m., you weren't you. But you
Right.
were talking about fighting hags. You might want backup of some kind if you're going to go wandering around.
I I don't remember this.
How many minds do you have? Do you remember being somebody else?
Do you
Uh,
remember us talking to you about what bears are just now?
Or what a
no,
lion is?
I know what
Oh,
they are.
Thorn, this is really fucked up. What do we do?
I don't know what we're supposed to do. This wasn't in the handbook. There was no handbook,
We
but
didn't
if there
get a
was one,
handbook.
it's not in here.
I think there's two fluffies, and I think one of them's one.
Is Fluffy is one or is Fluffy Fluffy?
I think there's both a fluffy and a one, and they're in the same body.
I'm Thorn. Hi. Um, for the last few months, we've been traveling with Senor Fluffington.
Who is a let me clear, like, who is a dog?
Yes,
Like, I like
actual
picked him up.
Chihuahua.
Is actually a dog. Has eaten shit off of the sidewalk.
I think I'm gonna look past the two of them at Brig and go, are these people crazy?
I think they might be a little bit, but you came in with them. You don't look like yourself.
A Chihuahua cannot. This is no.
Now you literally
here.
were like this
Come
big,
here,
and
son.
I was gonna get you a little leather jacket with spikes on it, so you don't get eaten by fucking hawks.
Come here, son. Come here.
Yes.
Like, beckons you over to
Oh yeah,
the head table.
I fully approach and take
And
it.
because the chalice is fairly wide and beautiful polished silver with clear, perfect water inside, it is also very reflective. So you'd be able to see your reflection in it. One would also be able to make impulsive decisions if he so choose, but you would be able to see what you look like,
Your
which is Brig's
once
intent.
upon a reflection.
I think any impulse is overtaken by the surprise at the reflection that he's seeing. Uh, and he just kind of chuckles at himself and goes, "Oh, what?" And it just kind of sits down, just goes, "What have I missed?"
Where do we begin?
We're kind of isolated here.
I can tell you when we met.
When
And I tell about how we were like summoned basically together. We all met. Frack, me, Thorn, you, Senor Fluffington.
And you
We're
were
all
like,
summoned.
no shit, an actual dog, like an actual
We've
chihuahua.
traveled back and forth together several times over the past few months.
months.
Every single time you've been a chihuahua in the other world, in the real world.
Like, you're scared of the vet and shit.
See, if I didn't really did hate the bet.
Loves birria tacos.
Who doesn't?
True.
Oh, what year is it?
Blah. Whatever year it is.
Yeah, whatever year it is
Yeah.
in this universe.
2020 something.
Cool.
20XX.
It's
Yeah.
it's been plenty of years, is what I'm learning. Okay.
Yeah. For one, it will have probably been something like
Like a decade or something.
yeah, probably about 11 or 12 years.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Okay.
If we go back to the real world now, like, would you be Juan or would you be Fluffy?
Please also make an intellect save for me.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We're gonna lose
Oh no.
one.
10.
10.
Yep.
you feel the urge to growl because something inside of you is growling at you.
Mm. Mm-hmm. What? No, not yet. Just I have to go home.
Wow, but I thought my life was fucked up. Sorry, Fluffy. I mean, Juan, this sucks.
Brig, I need a reflection as soon as possible.
Brig just looks at the extremely reflective chalice.
I'll talk to you later, yes?
I hope so.
I hate this. And I'm gonna try to go through the reflection.
Which is much too small, but still functional.
Yeah.
So as you begin to activate it, and one was an experienced champion. Are you trying to scry? Are you trying to speak to someone? Or are you trying to travel?
I think he's trying to scry first.
Okay. What are you scrying on?
My family.
You look in and you focus really intently. And slowly you see, getting off of a bus in an unfamiliar area, Pedro. Much older than you expected. He looks kind of like you did when you were in your teens. A little scrawnier. Taller, though. He gets that from Dahlia's side. He is wearing this spiked leather bracelet on one side and a band t-shirt. A fairly well tattered, but still warm hoodie with his bag slung over one shoulder, staring at his phone as he walks towards something. And then it shifts, and you see Dahlia passed out, sleeping at home because she's between shifts. She was able to send Pedro off to go do some chores, some errands for her, while she was taking a much earned nap. She looks older. The grays come in. She looks very tired. It's hard being a single mom.
And yet still as beautiful as I remember her.
She'd smack the shit out of you with her sandal if she could. Just for saying that.
Yep. I'm going through.
Are you going through to Dahlia, or are you going to try and shift it back to Pedro?
I'm going through to my wife.
Okay. So from the vanity mirror in her room, a little dirty, but easy to see from it, you begin to activate the portal with much greater ease than Senor Fluffington ever has. And as you guys watch the scenes that portray themselves in the reflective surface of this beautiful silver chalice, you see Senor Fluffington start to get squeezed and twisted into this spiral blur of color. You see him gradually turn into a chihuahua as he slips through. And the vision is gone by the time he has passed all the way through the reflection.
No.
And that is where we're going to end for the night. Because it has been our allotted 3 hours.
Oh, oh man.
Oh no.
Um, I would like to state, officially speaking, that Joelle did promise to make people cry with their
Yes,
chihuahua.
I remember. They were like,
I remember
hey, so
that
this
too.
is
I
a
just
silly
didn't
character
expect
concept,
it.
but also you will cry.
Yeah.
I made myself cry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
You were describing that, and I was like, I could feel what the character was feeling, and I just started crying.
yeah.
Oh
Yep.
no.
Poor Juan.
Oh,
Oh,
Poor Juan.
Juan died and came back as a family dog or something.
Something happened, you don't know what. And with the
Damn.
fact that he's gone back to the real world and is now Senor Fluffington, who knows if you'll be able to find out.
Rat
But
thought their
yeah,
life was complicated.
you guys all have fairly complicated lives.
yeah.
But amazing job, you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, we got part of that reveal out. Hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, so let's go ahead and go around, do our little bit of closure here. Let's go in reverse this time, starting with Alina.
I'm Alina. I'm still shell shocked. I've been playing Frack and Sev. We're all they, them. You can find me online at alinapete.com or on Blue Sky at alinapete. I post a whole bunch of stuff. I am on the every other Sunday game, Empyrean Wilds, where I play Kale, our tea dragon, who would hate Vrax so much. Oh my god, they would hate each other. I can't even articulate that. And then every other Tuesday or Thursday, we've been trying to figure out a new schedule. I play in Trash Heroes, which is on my stream, which is twitch.tv/WhereGeekComics. It's a 5e sort of homebrew system where we play heroes who've literally climbed out of a trash heap and are now trying to save the world very badly. It's fun. Come give us a watch.
Yes, very fun. We do love Where Geek Comics and their Trash Heroes game. Wonderful cast and GM over there. It's a good time. It is a genuinely good time. Bunch of artists over there as well, so you should totally check them out. Amanda.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda, and I was Rosa and Thorn, all three of us using she, her pronouns. You can find me most often on Blue Sky at Panda Cabra. I am here every other Friday with Once Upon a Reflection, and every other Sunday for Empyrean Wilds, where I play Baron, the weird adept who dances with dark matter in Siphon's power, which is really fun.
It has a crush on Corey.
Has a crush on Corey, and I love playing like girl failures who are just like very socially awkward but with powers beyond their comprehension. So that's kind of my wheelhouse. Yeah, feel free to say hi. And yeah, that's it. I don't have anything else to really promote.
Awesome. And Joel, who had
Hi.
such a wonderful reveal today.
Hi, I'm Joel. I played Senor Fluffington and Juan today.
Yeah.
And then I'm here every other Friday, playing this wonderful story with these amazing human beings. And I also am in the Sunday game, which is every other Sunday, where I play Val Misforge, who is just also a mess in a completely different way. It's been a wonderful time.
You do typecast yourself as just a hot
Our
mess.
mess. Yep.
We love it. We love to see it.
That's kind of everything that I'm doing. I have an actual IRL job now, so I have very limited time to do anything other than this. Yeah. Do you want to keep up with whatever it is with the little things that I'm going to be doing? Join the Discord server.
It's so fun. We post lots of gifs.
Yeah, there's probably plenty of memes and gifs in the AP Hype chat waiting for me there.
You could watch the entire campaign just through those gifs.
Sometimes. But yeah, so to wrap that up, I am Evie, the Disaster GM. My pronouns are she, they, or any, and I'm the director of Altered Echo Archives and the GM for both of our primary games. Um, Normally, you can just kind of find me here doing the GM thing and like only occasionally emotionally tormenting my players. It's not always. It's not every time.
So,
Uh, it's just sometimes. Um, but yeah, so it's definitely been fun. You can also, at least for the next couple of months, catch me on some Saturdays on Fusca's channel, who we are going to be rating once we are done with this, um, as Jet Theory in their little short run campaign. She is also a hot mess. Um, but yeah, not going to be running this weekend because of Foos and her husband's birthdays being this week. So when we jump into their chat,
ooh.
don't forget to say happy birthday to them. Both of them are currently on screen at least. Um, but yeah, so not going to be there tomorrow, but definitely next week. So also not this weekend for Empyrean Wilds, but next weekend we will be coming back with Empyrean Wilds, where one of the characters had just disappeared into a magical circle of weirdness.
Oh yeah, I
That
get to have a
happens a
breakdown
lot.
next game.
Yeah, that happens a lot in that game. People just
It's gonna be
disappearing
good.
into magical
It's gonna be
circles
good.
of stuff. But yeah, so it's a fun time. It's a fun time. But we will catch you next time. Cypher superiority, yay, woo! But yes,
Woo!
so join our Discord if you want to chat or follow us on socials. Sometimes I'm actually on there and posting stuff. It is rare, but it does happen. But we will catch you next time. Have a wonderful evening. Happy Fairy Tale Friday, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.